Welcome to That Hoquiam Podcast. I'm your host, City Council President Stephen Pavogel. Let's talk about what's going on in the city of Hoquiam. Hey, welcome to That Hoquiam Podcast. Glad you're here with me again today. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We're having little bits of blue sky between the actually quite windy weather, and it's a little bit of everything right now. So no guest today. Just kind of gonna do a little bit of update on what's going on in Hoquiam, both with the city and schools and some other stuff going on. So first off, I've been hitting on it for a few weeks, but it's definitely something that's still not quite taken care of yet, or not. We're not all the way there yet, and that's the census. So we are obviously 2020. We have the annual census, and it's really important for school funding, hospital funding, voters, the representation that everybody gets counted in the census, and it's not just citizens but actual residents, and they get counted. It's required in the Constitution every 10 years, so it's really important that we go ahead and we get counted. So please go ahead and go to my2020census.gov and complete your census. Now, last week I gave an update that, the state of Washington was at about 55.4% complete, where Hoquiam was lagging a little bit behind at 46.8. So that was through April, I think it was the 16th. So here I am, and I've updated the numbers and looked to see how much has changed since then. The state is up to a 58.1% complete, whereas Hoquiam is a 52.1%. So we're over halfway there, but still long ways to go to make sure that we're represented and that we get the funding that we need to be able to continue on with all the important things that we have to do here in Hoquiam. So please, if you've not completed your census, please do. It's really easy. My2020census.gov, and you do it once, and then you're done for 10 years, and nobody's going to come to your house to knock on your door to ask you why you didn't do it. But if you don't do it, somebody is coming to your house. So please just fill it out, and then we could move on. I did say that give a schools update. So there were a couple of school board meetings this week. They had their planning meeting on Monday, where they set the agenda. And then on Thursday, they had the main school board meeting. It was kind of a rough one. So no big surprise. The coronavirus situation's not helping out with the financials with the school, and it's just kind of getting into a tough point anyway. So the school board did authorize the superintendent to take some action. I believe there are some furloughs and even some layoffs that are coming, not next year, but even this year. And some of those are permanent. So I don't have all the details, but I know this is a very tough situation as we fight for our Grizzlies and Cubs and all of our kids in the Hoquiam School District, that we continue to provide them the best service that we can as citizens and as a school district. So this is not taken lightly, and it's kind of a bum deal, but that is starting. The kids are actively doing school. I know that I've had seen a lot of Zoom classes and other materials. The teachers and staff have really gone, way above and beyond to try to make sure that they're doing the best for the kids to keep them up to speed. I know the school district is working really hard, especially looking for direction from the superintendent of public instruction on seniors and making sure that they get all the graduation requirements that they need, that they're able to graduate on time this year, and that all the kids are getting what they need. There's also some work that they did to make sure that kids are, the athletes are getting the letters that they would have gotten and stuff like that, because that can make a difference to them down the road, especially if they're looking at collegiate scholarships and that kind of thing. So we want to make sure the school's doing all they can to take care of those kids. And then it's tough. I mean, just like so many other professions, education has really just been upended through all of this, but they're resilient and they're creative, and the kids are adapting for the most part, but this is tough for them too. And another note, the school lunches, grab and go meals continue. When they go, they get a meal both at the, a lunch for that day, and then breakfast for the following morning. So they get it all at once. So they take that then. So that is happening still. Keep those kids fed at the elementary schools and the YMCA, and then a couple other sites daily, and even some on the weekends, where some of the local churches have stepped up to help keep the kids fed even on the weekend. So really stepping up, both the school district and the community, to keep kids fed through all of this. Really quick, I just want to hit on again about the use of face masks. Oh, I didn't grab my mask to bring over here, but using a cloth mask when you're out in public. So if you're in your car driving alone, maybe you don't need a mask. But if you're going into, the grocery store or whatnot, please wear a cloth mask. That is the recommendation from the CDC at this time, that everybody, when they are interacting, that when they're around other people, especially when social distancing isn't possible, to wear a mask. You don't have to wear a mask at home unless you have somebody home that's suspected, or, that is under a health concern. And then just, when everybody steps up and is not embarrassed by it and all that kind of thing, it's going to really help us get to the point that we can reopen. We now know that as we reopen, in some degrees, starting pretty soon, it's going to be in phases, and some industries are going to be getting back to work physically on site sooner than others. And, as much as everybody takes caution and care, the sooner that it's going to be that we all can get back to normal while keeping everybody safe. It's, this has been truly a life and death situation. We've been rather lucky in Grays Harbor, but that's not been the case everywhere. And we don't know when that moment could come that we're not so lucky anymore. I think the way that people have really just went and did it has really helped a lot. So thank you for everybody for that. And then city council. So we do have a city council meeting on Monday, April 27th. It's a pretty light agenda, but one of the things that you can do, because that we had a lot of situations with the first episode, the first city council meeting done by Zoom, what they call Zoom bombers. These are really just kids that are jumping on and trying to have fun and doing, kind of just well, being horrific or whatnot. The comment for this meeting and the future meetings, as long as we're doing them remotely, is going to be done via email. So you do need to submit your comments in advance. Send an email to Tracy Wood, so at twood@cityofhoquiam.com. And if you want that comment in for this week's meeting, then it needs to be emailed to her by 10 a.m. on Monday, April 27th. If it doesn't have to be for this meeting, then obviously you have a little bit more time. But if you get it to her by 10 a.m. on Monday, then we will have that when we have our meeting on Monday evening. So submit your public comment to her. Save her some time, include your name and your address, the things that we ask for you every time that you comment. So if you could just really kind of say what's going on. It's, we have a lot happening in the city. We did get a report from the police chief. That's kind of the March statistical report. We do get these every month from the police chief about what's going on and the trends going on in the city. And in the month of March, obviously things changed dramatically. The cities of Aberdeen, Hoquiam, and Cosmopolis kind of have this mutual aid agreement that and a plan in place. It's a 5-tier or a 5-step plan about what to do as the police, as one department may get understaffed or whatnot because that of the virus or whatnot. How do you make sure there's coverage? So, if our officers get sick, then we can get mutual aid from Cosmopolis and Aberdeen, or if their officers get sick, we can assist them. So that plan is in place. And so they are prepared. I think I'm rather biased, but from what I've seen, we have one of the best police departments that's out there, period. We're so fortunate in Hoquiam, and I think that maybe it might be fair that we have to share them if the need arise, and we know they'll step up. The jail, so we do operate our city jail, and it's been we averaged, it looks like 22 inmates a day through the month of March. And our police department has really stepped up all of their procedures to keep everyone safe, to keep a spread of the virus within our city jail. And so certainly appreciate all of their effort to keep everyone safe through that. And then, so there were, I think that they had kind of a drop in calls for both police and fire, maybe because some of the other traffic's died down. It sure sounds like we're hearing more sirens than normal, but I don't think we actually are. That we did still have a lot of activity. Some of the normal activity doesn't stop just because that we're in a health crisis. And so certainly a lot of, welfare checks and, traffic stops, speeding. Speeding's been terrible, not just here, but as traffic goes down, people think that they have the open highway that they can just drive as fast as they want. And I think it sure seems that that's certainly been the case in Hoquiam. Another thing is there's been quite a few parking complaints. I know that there's been a concern by people about the enforcement of the 72-hour parking law, and that vehicles have to move every 72 hours. But it looks like there's a lot of complaints. Just numbers of how many people are calling on their neighbors and to do that. I would say, well, I don't know. I mean, we don't want nuisance vehicles around the town, but at the same time, that's really kind of following up on, um, on just being good neighbors and all of that. So the April 27th council meeting, like I said, is going to be on Zoom. The address if you if you get into Zoom, the meeting number is 988-219-98346. You can find that by going to cityofhoquiam.com, going to city council, looking for the agendas. And then on the April 27th agenda, it does have the address that you can go to find the Zoom meeting ID. There's also a regulatory meeting at 6:15. It's out there if you want to go to watch that. You could do that too. I know generally those are often less attended by the public, but they are open to the public, so you can certainly tune in and watch that. I'm going to try to go ahead and live stream the main council meeting through my channels, but I don't know that I'm going to do that with the regulatory meeting, just because I don't know that there's as much demand for it. But business continues on. We've got stuff to do. I don't have a whole lot more today. This is kind of a shorter one, but I wanted to make sure that everybody was up to speed on what was going on. Be kind to each other. Take this stuff seriously. Be safe. Be rational. And, if you can do some takeout, support our local businesses and our local restaurants, please do that. Take advantage of some of these opportunities that we have, whether it be the, pickup orders that you can get from Swanson's or whatnot. And stay safe. I'm pulling for you. We're going to get through as a city. It's going to be, a different experience than we've ever had, as it already has. But I'm optimistic on the long term. I think we're going to be okay. So, hey, thanks for joining. And I will have something new for you next week. If you want to in on a little bit more of the lighthearted stuff, I'm going to do a podcast tomorrow, which will be on Facebook or YouTube live, and then on the audio later. Just like this, you can find it on audio form by asking your smart speaker or going wherever you get podcasts. So you can ask for that Hoquiam podcast, or this other podcast is called Harbor Famous, where I just talk to just kind of people around town that are, you see them around, them. They might be artists or entertainers or whatnot. And so tomorrow I will have, looks like we'll have David Quigg on live. So that'll be fun. And I hope you will tune in for that. Otherwise, thanks for joining me.